All right. My computer has been acting up today, so it's probably a bad idea to do a live, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's late, I'm tired, and I think this will be quicker as long as the computer doesn't crash. So, we are going to go over today the Melody Farris trial. We now know that she was found guilty, and we're going to find out what's next with her, talk to you a little bit about other things that we know with her, and then we're also going to get into the Delphi, Indiana trial. And I have my computer all set up. There's a lot of numbers and dates for these two cases, and I don't want to mess them up. So if I'm looking down, I'm just looking at my computer to make sure I'm getting the time and everything right. So I had stopped watching the Melody Farris trial because Sarah Boone's trial came on, and that basically took over my life for that sort of thing. I was actually talking with the girl named Lisa on here, and she had staggered both trials throughout the day, and I need to do that more. That way I could have kept up. Because the last day that I saw of the trial was when Gary, who is Melody's husband that died, the woman he was having an affair with came and testified, and that was the last day I saw. And just as a recap with all of that, if you didn't get to watch the whole thing, so Melody's accused of killing her husband. 3 out of the 4 children believe that their mom did it. And Melody thinks that her oldest son, Chris, did it, which is so out of left field. It's just, yeah, it's too much. But so today the jury came back and they were hung, and the judge basically sent them right back out the door. And they actually stayed, and I believe it was in between 5 and 6 o'clock, and they came back. And I was like, oh no, I really hope they're not hung again, because the judge probably would have told them to start again tomorrow morning. But no, they had come back with a verdict, and she was found guilty on every account. So I think that they were probably arguing about some of the lesser charges, but, after push came to shove, they decided just to all agree on all of it. So then that leads us into her sentencing, which is going to be in December. And I would be I'd be very surprised if they don't come back and try for a retrial. It just seems like a lot of cases are doing that, and yeah, I think she'll definitely do it. So then I'm going to jump into the Delphi, Indiana trial. I don't know if any of you have been paying attention to it. It was national news for a while, but because the trial decided not to have cameras, a lot of people haven't been keeping up with it, and that is me as well. I have not been doing a good job keeping up with it. So if you don't know about what happened, there is a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old, Abigail and Liberty, who were dropped off to go hiking in the woods, and they never came back. After surveillance footage and seeing who was in that park that whole day in and out, they had narrowed it down that it was probably going to be Richard Allen. But then when they were able to find the bodies and retrieve one of the cell phones, one of the girls actually recorded him coming up to them and leading them down a big hill that has woods at the bottom. So it already was not looking good for him. But then during his time in prison, I don't know how some people don't know this, but all of your phone calls are recorded. But he told his wife and his mom on the phone that he did it. And now we know that other prison people, whether that be the guards or inmates, he told everybody in there he did it too. It's just maddening. And he still is going into this with a not guilty verdict. So he's over there just being like, nope, I didn't do it. And the defense thinks that they're going to be able to walk back his statements. But the jury now have heard all that audio. So it's kind of hard to take it back now. And then, let me read this one part so I don't make a mistake. Yeah, so they decided to have him do a psych evaluation because they were hoping to be able to claim that he was out of his mind. So if it went that way, then it wasn't his fault. But he had a very long evaluation. Like, she did a great job. And they had determined that he, number one, was sane to take the trial, but that the only major thing that he had was major depression. There wasn't any other like manic or schizophrenia, nothing like that. So it doesn't really work out as a defense in his case. So we're just going to see how it goes. I think it's already been, I don't know, a week into the trial. I think it's definitely going to take longer. They've had a lot of people come take the stand, and that includes the defense, which is shocking. But he has different family members that have come and given their statements that he's never done anything like that. He wouldn't do that. And it's frustrating because you never really know who someone is and what goes on behind the scenes. You know, nobody knows. So you can't really make statements saying, hey, he didn't do that. You don't know. And he also was the last one to see them. So the last thing I'm going to bring up with this live is Stephen Stearns. I had made a video last night, maybe this morning. My days are merging together. Of Stephen and a phone call with his parents. And I just continue to be grossed out by him. You know, he confesses basically that he SA'd Madeline. And enough that his parents are aware that that's what happened. And in that phone call, the dad basically says, we need to figure out, like, well, why that happened. And Stefan's comment back was, well, I didn't start it. I don't even know what to do with him. When his trial comes in February, I will be watching every single day. I really hope it's a very quick verdict of guilty. There's just so many things wrong with this case, and including her mom, who would let her go and sleep in bed with her boyfriend. I feel like the mom has to be held accountable. But we will just see. There are rumors right now that she is in a mental hospital and that her lawyers told her to do that. So if any of the blame could be, fallen on, maybe she was mentally not doing well. I also heard that that's not true. But when I've tried looking for her, I can't find her anywhere. There's no more news articles that pop up to say she's going to different places or giving her testimony. And so it'll be interesting to see what she's been doing now and then up into the trial. And I mean, you have to know she's going to take the stand. And I cannot wait for that, because not only should she step up for being her mom and, hold Stefan accountable for everything, but I hope that with that, the jury and everybody else can kind of start seeing where she might have played an important role. I just hope that they somehow get her in there with Stefan. I think that she was super bad for allowing all of that to happen. And yeah, there's just really no excuse for it. So that is my recap of today. I'm so sorry if any of this was glitchy. Like I said, my computer is having problems all day. So Seems to be doing a little bit better now. I see some of the chats going. Hi, Beverly. I was reading your comment earlier you left on one of my videos. All right. Well, I'm going to take off. I will probably be back here tomorrow. Although I guess with election day, I'm not sure if they will have trials going. We'll just find out. I'll keep you updated.